Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Day one, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day one is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and Text line. You can call in, text in to any of the conversation that we will be having today. Also, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a like. Make sure y'all give us a subscribe as well. And in addition to that, because we're on a road to 5,000 subscribers. Now, in addition to that as well, y'all can always go ahead and open up the app. You can always open up the app so you can stream us live on the 1017 The Truth app. I text Rhea on accident. I meant to text somebody else. Somebody needed something from me. And so I multitasked, and I looked at Rhea, and she looked at me, and I wasn't sure she knew what I was looking at her for. But, yeah, Truth Nation, I'm fresh off of joining the wonderful Miss Denise Thomas on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, as she filled in for Sherwin Hughes today. Tomorrow, y'all gonna have a treat tomorrow, Truth Nation. Should I tell them? DJ Ricky, should I tell them? Or DJ Backdoor, should I tell them who they got coming on tomorrow?
Yes, you should, DJ Front Door.
Hey!
Fight.
I do like the front door. We said what? You said fight. What is? Oh, wait, should I not say that? What is that? I don't.
I'm back door, you front door.
Ricky, don't even have.
Sword fight.
Oh wow. Okay, Ricky. You know what? We need more black men who are open. Not me. I ain't doing that. We need more black men open with their beliefs and free. But tomorrow on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, as Sherwin is still recovering, shout out to our boy Sherwin, Dr. Ken Harris will be on tomorrow. He'll be joined by DT tomorrow, and then he'll be joined by Tori Lowe, then he'll be joined by me. So it is going to be a powerful, dynamic show tomorrow as Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by Tori Lowe, Denise Thomas, and myself. So I'm very, very excited for that. But with that being said, Truth Nation, it's time for us to get off the top because I do have some stuff I want to get off the top of the dome. I'm sitting down right now. I knew something didn't feel right, Rhea. Why didn't you say something? Shout out to Rhea Riley, my producer, on the ones and the twos. She was looking like she a chicken with her head cut off right now. And shout out to you, Truth Nation. But now that we got the pleasantries out the way, let's get to it.
Woke up this morning. You got yourself.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
All right, Truth Nation, listen. I'm not going to beat a dead horse because I'm not going to talk about this all day, every day, because that's not my style. That's not the way I get down. But man, oh man, am I so shocked by so many people who are anti-police who are now calling for more of a police presence. I remember 2020. I remember y'all being all mad at the police in 2020. I remember some of y'all talking about defund the police. Some of y'all talking about, we need to abolish the police. I thought y'all was crazy when y'all was talking about abolish. But it's interesting now to see kind of the temperatures changing. Now, right now, the Milwaukee Police Association is in negotiations with the city to get the Milwaukee Police Department more money. That's what's going on. And these have been going on for a while, and I am a proponent of the police because who else am I going to call in my time of need, time of danger? Because I'm just going to tell you this right now, Batman ain't real. Superman ain't real. Iron Man ain't real. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther, loved the movie. Not real. They're not coming to save the day. They're not coming to help us, right? And any other fictional character ain't coming to save you or Milwaukee. It is the police who are going to save you. That is who I'm calling. They serve a great purpose in protecting and serving our community. So you will never hear me say anything about abolishing the police. Now you can hear me say reimagine policing. I think that's important. I think that's so important when we talk about that as I hear about what happened with Lil Nas X, who was going through a mental health crisis. Right, when I think about the young man down in Denver, Colorado, I can't think of his name. Rhea, maybe you can look it up. The young man in Denver, Colorado, who was a little bit on the spectrum, who was murdered and killed by the police down in Colorado. In Colorado, wasn't in Denver, but in Colorado. I think his name started with an M or something with a young skinny kid who lost his life. He might have been 18, 19 years old, having a mental health crisis. So I do believe that there needs. Go ahead, you can say it. I don't believe his name was Dante Minyard. But neither here nor there. His name was Elijah McClain, I think. I think it was Elijah McClain. Yes. What do you mean that kid? Are you in my ear? You're on air. Well, get on ear. On air. I can't. Elijah McClain, I think that was his name. You know what I'm talking about or no?
I didn't know you were going with that angle. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. How I just, boom, recall. Man, I'm good.
Okay.
Just recall in a moment like that. But we need to reimagine police. We don't need to abolish. I think that's foolish. But I have no problem with saying our police make more than enough money. Listen, I can support the police and what they need to do, but I can also say they don't need no more money. These folks have a starting pay of $60,000 per year after they graduate from the academy. $60,000 per year. That is good money. It ain't through the roof, but it's good money. And then on top of that, Truth Nation, the average salary of a police officer here in Milwaukee is $84,700 per year. That is more than enough money to be a public servant. That is more than enough money to be a public servant. Just like when our Common Council was trying to get a pay raise, and I was against that. Just like when Cavalier Johnson gave himself a pay raise, I was against it. You are a public servant. If you want to get rich, then you go into the private sector. But when you are a public servant, yes, you should get more money. Eventually, you should get pay raises. But crying and moaning when you make $84,700 per year as a public servant, that's good money, especially when the average household income in the state of Wisconsin is $99,000 per year. So what you are saying is, with one income inside of most police officers' households here in Milwaukee, most of them are all almost making what an average household makes on one salary as a public servant. So for me, if you don't like what the pay is, and that's what the negotiations are, they want to be paid more money. If you don't like what the pay is and you work for MPD, who I respect you, I care for you, and I thank you for stepping up and taking on a role. But if you don't like how much you're being paid, then go somewhere else to find more money. Because that's what people do all the time. I respect what you do and we need what you do. But we are not in a fiscal position as a community to be able to provide y'all with more money. How can we pay you more money when we have staffing shortages? And today, I heard Dame LZ on the morning show make a perfect point about MPD. Rhea, did you know MPD makes up half our city budget? Half our city budget goes towards the Milwaukee Police Department. Did you know that?
I did not.
And now you do. And now a lot of people in Truth Nation know that as well. And for me, how is it that we complain about the job they are doing, but we are looking for them to get a raise? Who in the world gets a C? And again, I respect the police, but who in the world, when they look at the job that they're doing, they're not excelling at the role, can walk into their boss's office and say, I need a raise? Well, wait a minute. We got issues here. We got issues. We got to be better. It don't matter. I need a raise. That doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make sense. And so when Dame said that, I thought it was so perfectly well put. If we as a community don't believe the police are excelling at a high level, then why would we give them a raise? Especially when they already make a great salary. Rhea, would you happily accept $84,700 a year?
Yes.
Hell yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. So instead of trying to ask for more money, they should be asking for better training in ways to continue to build bridges with our community. And I want to again restate, I appreciate the police and they serve an important role, and I respect them because I could never do it. But when I hear bullets flying, I'm running the extra direction. They hear bullets flying, they're supposed to run in that direction. But this may be harsh for me to say, but it's the reality. And this is a fact. So if anybody's being rubbed the wrong way by me saying we shouldn't give them any more money, they should just give an average raise of maybe 1% or 2% or whatever jobs get. Because I know for damn sure where I work at, I don't get an average raise. We don't make money, I don't get additional money. My checks ain't getting higher if we don't make money. That's just the reality of the situation. And so the harsh reality is the fact that when you sign up to protect and serve the community, you're not signing up to get rich. You're not signing up to get paid $100,000. That ain't what this is about. And Mayor Cavalier Johnson came on my show last week, and you can go back and listen to that interview by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, and you can find the interview. Or you can also go to 1017 The Truth app and listen back in the interviews tab or in my show tab. He even said the reason why Ashanti Hamilton left the position in Office of Violence Prevention was because there's more lucrative money to be made in the private sector than there is the public sector. That's just the reality of it, because you are a public servant. Our police are public servants, and your pay should be based off your performance. And based off the performance that the Milwaukee Police Department has had, you don't deserve a pay raise, a significant pay raise. 1% annual, sure, but not anything of significance. It hasn't been earned. And again, I respect what you do, but it has not been earned. Now, in addition to that, I talked about it yesterday, but I want to put a bow on it. When the Milwaukee Police Association president comes in and uses a bargaining chip of the National Guard, I hear it. And I think about, could the National Guard help curb violence in certain areas? Of course. Any presence of anyone wearing a uniform that may have a gun or maybe somebody patrolling, of course it would deter. Yes. When you see a police car and you're speeding on the freeway or you're speeding down the street, Rhea, if you see a police car, sheriff's on the freeway, what are you doing if you're going, if it's a 70, you going 82, what you doing when you see the police car?
Slow down.
Slow down. That's what you do. They deter. That's what they're there for. But when I think about the National Guard, in order for them to actually deter violence, they would need to be roaming the streets here on the north side of Milwaukee every single night. And my biggest concern isn't so much the National Guard, it is more who is in control of the military right now. What is the directive? What is the order that they are getting? Those folks aren't trained to de-escalate situations the way that they need to in communities on a day-to-day basis. They're known to enforce, watch over. That's not what their job is. But my biggest concern is this current administration. And think about the last time we had outside police force in the city of Milwaukee. That was during the Republican National Convention. And during the Republican National Convention, Ohio police officers who were not from Wisconsin shot and killed a homeless man that was well known to the Milwaukee Police Department as being somebody who had mental health and who was homeless. They used force because they weren't familiar with the area. If the National Guard comes here, folks who aren't trained to patrol like police, if they were to use force and kill somebody, then we're talking about more traumatic situations in our community. We don't need more trauma in our community. So again, if there's a different administration in charge, maybe I'll be more open-minded to the idea. But I do not trust them, and I know our community, our black community, because when they're talking about Milwaukee, they're not talking about the South Side. They're talking about the North Side. They're talking about downtown. And I know our community has a mistrust of the military. We have a mistrust of I shouldn't say the military. We have a mistrust of this administration. So we'll already be on edge if they were to come roaming our streets. But the National Guard being in communities is nothing new. We've seen it before. But again, it comes down to who is in charge and who is leading it. And with that, Truth Nation, I think we should allow for MPD to do their job. So instead of asking for more money, you should be asking for additional resources. We should be asking for more recruiting tools to get more folks to want to join MPD. That's what we should be asking for, because you are a public servant and you're not here to get rich. You're here to serve the community. And y'all having more support and more resources is more important than y'all having a bigger check, period. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Al on the talking text line said, didn't the police vote for Trump? They did. They did. The Milwaukee Police Association, they did support Donald Trump. He even said he's going to reach out to Trump now. And again, I regardless they supported Trump or not, it's about the fact that I don't believe that they have earned a pay raise, and I don't believe we're in a situation financially as a city where we need to be giving more of our budget to the police, especially if the way that they're going about it, as Dame Elsie said so well this morning, has not been deemed successful. If our police department was successful here in Milwaukee when it came to, because their job isn't 100% to prevent violence, it's to deter violence, they're responding. But if they were doing better in our community, then maybe we can think about it. But at this point in time, y'all need more manpower and woman power. Y'all don't need more money. 833-212-1017. Do you believe that we should be paying our police more money? 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. Again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. As when we come back, we'll continue this conversation talking about the law, and also we'll dabble in talking about what we're not seeing in the headlines as well. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource. What does the process consist of when coming through this program?
It's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources, Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What up, Truth Nation? Steinhoffels has extended their Labor Day sale, and they're celebrating the start of the Green Bay Packers season. Right now, save 10% off store-wide or choose 36 months, 0% financing. That is 3 whole years with 0% financing. Plus, you'll score an $100 Packers gift card when you spend over $19.99, but you must hurry. This is your last chance for Labor Day savings on all the best mattress brands with up to 60 months, 0% financing. Steinhoffels are a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Shop in store or online anytime at steinhoffels.com. I wish I had that deal. When I bought my Dreams mattress for them, I wish I would have financed it for 0% for 5 years. I had to pay all up front. That would have been nice to be able to pay it for 0% finance. Can you imagine being able to buy something and not having to pay it off for 5 years and you get 0% interest the whole time?
That'd be great.
Paying like $15 a month for a mattress? That's crazy.
I gotta check them out.
Yeah, you got to. Make sure y'all go to Steinhoffels. We'll be checking them out on Friday as I'll be live from Steinhoffels in Menominee Falls. Come see your boy. And make sure y'all come there. And if y'all spend over $19.99, you get a $100 gift card for the Green Bay Packers. So shout out to Steinhoffels. Visit them today at steinhoffels.com. And come visit me on Friday at Steinhoffels in Menominee Falls from noon to 1 as I broadcast Truth to Power Live from Steinhoffels. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power Live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue here in downtown Milwaukee. And on the other side, we're having a conversation talking about MPD and talking about this push to want to be able to have the National Guard here and this push for MPD to want to get paid more. Because when I think about that again, I support MPD. They're important. I appreciate Chief Jeffrey Norman. But at the end of the day, I think the Milwaukee Police Association is thinking about his people as he should be and not thinking about the community. They have not done a good enough job where they should be talking about getting any type of raise. On the talking text line at 833-212-1017, White Widow said $84,000 average when $60,000 average. Overtime mandatory oftentimes. This is a joke. Tearing down rank and file Milwaukee Police Department workers. The masses of MPD is black. Kyle, you have only talked to the boss, Cavalier. Do not owe the workers a voice. Have you talked to a cop about the contract demands? A black female cop. Shameful. No, I have not. But I know the demands are asking for more money. And so at the end of the day, if you think $84,000 ain't enough money, then that's on you. I think we should be focusing on hiring more staff than we should be talking about giving people more money. A police officer making $100,000. There are officers out there making $100,000. When we got teachers making $44,000, $45,000. We have teachers in private schools making $38,000 a year. So y'all can miss me with that. You can definitely miss me with that. If you don't like your pay, go somewhere else. That is what America is all about. If you don't like how much you're getting paid, if you don't feel appreciated, guess what? You take your behind somewhere else. It is not the community's job to make sure that you're being paid an exorbitant amount. Not what I'm about. But again, 833-212-1017. I want to transition over to something else because the headlines last week focused on school shootings. And it only took a week. And help me with this, Rhea. Have you seen anything this week, yesterday or Monday? You see anything about what happened in Minnesota at the Catholic school about the shootings?
No.
Yeah, no. You thought about it. You said, oh, wow. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm like the same old.
But you haven't seen the national headlines. You haven't seen the updates. You can't go and find all this stuff. You see, it only took a week for the news cycle to move on from the 14 children who were shot and the 2 kids who were killed who were 10 and 8 years old last week at a Catholic school in Minnesota. And just like that, we no longer hear about the thoughts and the prayers. And just like that, we are no longer getting updates on how the families are doing. We're no longer hearing from the parents. It's not front page news now. In Minnesota, yes, they're talking about it. But that was a national story for a couple of days, and now all of a sudden it disappeared. It is gone. And to me, that is by design. That is all by design because all news outlets and media outlets, they talk about a story of the day and then they move on. That was the story of the day. But to me, when I think about it, it isn't a story of the day to the families. It isn't a story of the day to the students who are traumatized in that. It isn't the story of the day to the teachers, to the school or the community. That is the reality for them, is that is what occurred. That is what they have to recover from. And they are forever going to be scarred by this. Those children, the family, the community will forever be scarred by that. When you talk about the Sikh temple shooting that happened in Oak Creek, that community, the Sikh community in Oak Creek, are still scarred from that. When you talk about the shooting that happened at that salon in Brookfield years ago, the community is still scarred from that. These scars don't go away. These memories don't go away. So even though the news cycle may move on, what these folks deal with after, the traumatic stress after, doesn't go away. And I'm going to tell y'all this, I, for one, will never, ever stop talking about gun violence. I will never, ever stop talking about things that happen negatively in these communities, especially when it has to deal with children. Because to me, it is extremely unacceptable to sit here and not talk about it and forget about it. And what really irritates me the most is how politicians hope for these stories to just go away. And the excuses they make for when things like this happen. Now, recently this weekend, I was, enjoying my time off. And I think it was on Friday or Saturday, one of the two, must have been Friday. But I recently heard Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the United States House, and also he's from Louisiana. Louisiana, which is a state that has the second highest gun death rate in this country in 2023. I heard him spew some bullcrap about why he won't do anything about gun violence. And it upset me. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you can watch and listen. Turn up your radios on 1017 FM or turn up your app, the 1017 The Truth app, because I'm going to have y'all listen to this clip. Now remember, a 10 and 8-year-old were murdered inside of their school while they were praying at a Catholic school. 14 children were shot at a Catholic school. I think 2 teachers or 3 teachers were also shot. Less than a week after that, this is one of the most powerful men in the United States going on an interview, and this is his response about, is he going to do something or what should we do about gun violence? Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube or turn up your radio or turn up your app, because this is the response from the Speaker of the United States House and Mike Johnson, a guy that comes from the state that has the second highest gun death rate in this country in the year of 2023, still is top right now. This is his response to gun violence.
Another difficult tragedy. We saw the school shooting in Minnesota. There have been so many of these, and there's growing frustration that whenever something like this happens, people talk about it, but the politicians are failing to get anything done. Do you have any plans this time, in the wake of this latest tragedy, to propose new legislation or anything as it relates to gun violence or mental health?
Let me be real clear about this. I mean, everybody in America is heartbroken over this disaster. It's the latest in a string, and it's just terrible. Our gratitude goes out to law enforcement, the first responders, and our prayers go out for the families and everybody involved in that community. We saw the father of that little boy, the 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, who lost his life, give some just heart-wrenching remarks yesterday, showing strength. But listen, it's important that politicians on either side of the aisle do not politicize a moment like this. There are many common sense measures that can and should be taken to protect children at schools and churches that do not involve taking away the constitutional rights of law-abiding American citizens. At the end of the day, the problems in these situations is not the guns, it's the human heart. And we can put more resources towards treatment of mental health. Obviously, this terrible, evil person who did this was suffering from serious mental health issues. We've got to be on guard to make sure that we can foresee that and prevent it and then harden our facilities. There's a lot of things that could be done.
But will we see something this session? Do you plan on proposing something?
Look, we're open to any bipartisan solution that can address these kinds of issues that actually go to the heart of the matter. We're always open for that.
Miss me with this bull crap. Miss me with that, because we keep talking about mental health and we keep talking about the Second Amendment. We keep talking about people being crazy. Miss me with that. And the reason why I say miss me with that, because what he is spewing is bull crap. And I'll tell you why. Is that as this man is talking about mental health and as he's talking about people's heart, you can try to find ways to protect crazy folks from themselves, but they refuse to do it. And for some reason, guns are the only place, the only area where we refuse to protect crazy people from themselves. Talking about people's heart, this is something that happens over and over again. And how I know he is blowing smoke, because remember, Rhea, I'm going to quiz you. I know you're taking notes. I'm going to quiz you. Mike Johnson is what? He is the Speaker of the
House.
Okay, which makes him one of the most powerful people where?
In America.
In America.
United States.
He is in the line of succession to become president. So he is in charge of the House. And he said in that clip, Truth Nation, a bipartisan effort. This is what I want y'all to know. In May of 2025, the Trump administration decided it would stop paying $1 billion in federal grants to school districts across the United States, which had been using that money to hire mental health professionals in school, which included counselors and social workers. Let me just tell y'all again. The man got up there after he talked about the father showed so much strength talking, which I'm sure he did, and talked about we need to have common sense laws and bipartisanship and not, make it politicize it. But he went up there and didn't tell the truth, and he lied. He didn't say in May of 2025, $1 billion were stripped away from schools to try to combat mental health inside our schools. That $1 billion was passed under the Biden administration in 2022, and it was a bipartisan effort after the tragic Uvalde shooting that happened down in Texas, where a teenager killed 19 elementary school students. 19 kids are no longer on this earth and breathing and living. 19 kids, 19 families no longer have their child here. 2 adults were killed, and 17 others were shot and injured. But this administration decided that the grant money that was being sent out there, $1 billion that was being sent out to hire school counselors and hire social workers, they thought that it was DEI money. They said it violated people's civil rights. This is what we are up against. We are up against people that talk out the side of their neck. These folks do not care about mental health or stopping crazy people or from getting guns. They literally tried to shoot at the president, and they still didn't do nothing. So I always talk about this stuff because you hear people say things, but their actions show another. And that is the issue that I have with this, is that I am sick of the gun violence happening inside this community. I'm tired of it. I am. And when I say this community, I should say this country. But when I hear a politician go up there and lie to the American public and not be truthful about what his real intentions are, especially when he comes from a place that has the second highest gun violence rate in this country, gun death rate in this country, talk about the heart of people. He knows these people have no heart, and he needs to get to a real solution and trying to find a way to limit the way that people can get guns. But they just lied, Truth Nation. Mental health doesn't matter to them, or they wouldn't have stripped $1 billion from school districts across this country to try to combat mental health. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power. Al, I see you. Security Mike, I see you. We'll take you on the other side. But we're talking about the fact that these politicians, they lie in our face, and sometimes we accept it, and we have to stop. This is Truth to Power. Kyle Wallace will be back in 4 minutes with callers and texts and YouTube as well.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
The biggest snowflakes out here have always been the white Republicans, who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. After losing their first matchup against the Phillies 10-8, the Brewers look to take a win in their second game of the series.
Duran brings home the 1-0 pitch, and it's a chopper to third. Couple of hops out to Sosa, gathers, throws to first in time, and this game is over. Phillies win it 10-8, and they take game one of this three-game series.
The Crew sits at 85-54 on the year, 5 games ahead of the Cubs in the NL Central. NFL football begins Thursday with the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Green Bay Packers begin their season against the Detroit Lions Sunday at 3:25 p.m. Badger football will face Middle Tennessee without their starting quarterback Billy Edwards Saturday at 3 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, if you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, listen, it's traumatic. I know you're going to be upset. But after you get, emotions stop from being so high and upset of the traumatic situation, call Gruber Law Offices. I'm telling y'all, don't go back and forth with somebody negotiating with you. Don't go back and forth with the insurance companies. Hire the law firm that is known to get results. You see the billboards, you see the commercial, you see them at games, but more importantly, you know the results. They truly speak for themselves. I got into a car accident. I made one call. That's all, the Gruber Law Offices, and guess what? They took care of me. My friend got into an accident, and guess what? Gruber took care of them. So if you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, call the law firm that focuses on the legal aspect so you as a client can focus on healing. And always know they provide the best care, the best service, and the best representation, because that is their priority. And always know as well, you never pay a single penny. You never come out of pocket until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm today by visiting Gruber-Law.com. That is Gruber-Law.com, or simply making one call, that's all, to 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And again, we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the 3rd Street Market Hall. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like and give us a subscribe as we are on our road to 5,000 subscribers. We're having a conversation talking about school shootings, but more importantly, talking about how these politicians lie. And that's the thing that triggered me, Rhea. What triggered me is not the fact that Mike Johnson was up there, talking about the school shootings. It was the fact that I knew he was lying. And that bothers me, because talking about not politicizing this, that's exactly what he was doing. He was up there and he answered a question about it, and he simply could have said, listen, we got to do more to solve this because this is egregious. But no, he said thoughts, he said prayers, don't politicize, and we need to focus on mental health. When the administration that he supports stripped away $1 billion to help with mental health. Billion with a big old B. 833-212-1017. Allen, Milwaukee on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts about Mike Johnson's comments on school shootings?
Well, it doesn't surprise me because this is people doing it, and he will have to admit that. But we also need to understand it's not mental health, because some of them come up as a kid when they mammy and pappy raised them with all that hate. So, of course, he ain't going to do nothing about it, because then he has to go against his own. And trust me, he knows his history, even when he was on Grindr.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute.
Truth doesn't lie.
Wait a minute. Was Mike Johnson on Grindr?
Yeah. Just look at his face.
Oh.
Look at it. Just look at how he acts.
He looks like a hobbit.
Ain't nothing. Well, even hobbits get down, and ain't nothing manly about that. And why is they popping up? You already know that, Kyle. He would have to go against his own people. Who's shooting up all the schools? Those who look just like him. And that's from birth. Have a good day.
Now I'm trying to bye, Al. I'm trying to see if Mike Johnson married. They say Lindsey Graham and what's the black dude name from South Carolina? Oh, Mike Johnson married to somebody. I forgot the black dude's name. It's escaping me. If he's gay, who cares? Who cares? If he like backdoor Ricky, that's cool with me. 833-212-1017. Security Mike, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on today's conversation?
We're probably talking about Tim Scott.
Tim Scott.
Talking about that brother.
0 for 2, Rhea. Tim Scott.
Yeah, man. Man, this administration is dangerous, not to just us as a black people, but to everybody, man. But right, Trump get in there and he turns back everything. Usually a president will leave some good things that a previous president did. Trump get in there and just turn back everything, which is totally racist, because a lot of that stuff we benefited from. A lot of things Biden did. Just yesterday, I go to Walgreens to get my scheduled booster shot, COVID booster, the flu shot, and the RSV shot. I can only get the flu shot. I'm wondering what's happening. I said, well, the last minister, dude talking about something about we waiting on up in Madison to say. I said, yeah, I bet it's that JFK taking the vaccines off the shelves. Never had this problem during the last administration.
Yeah.
I was able to get the COVID shot. And if you don't want the COVID shot, it should be there for you. If you don't want it or do want it. So now I'm like, what's up? He said, well, just keep calling us back. It's crazy, man. They're trying to kill us all.
Security, Mike, that's my whole thing. That's the one thing that I find interesting is that to be the party of choice, right? To be the party that says, we talk about the Second Amendment's a great one. Hey, I should be able to have the right to choose. Why is it that when it comes to vaccines, right? Why would you not have the choice of the human being to go up there and pick and choose what you want to get? I got the J&J shot. I got the one hitter quitter. That was it. I ain't get nothing else because I chose not to get nothing else. Why? What if you want to get more? Why would somebody take that away?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's sad. I only got the flu shot yesterday.
All right, well,
I got 3 shots.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Security Mike. Thank you so much. And again, I'm all about freedom of choice. Freedom of choice. But back to this conversation talking about the mental health argument is that I hear it all the time. And mental health is real. It is real. And there's a lot of people, and the older I get, and I've talked about it before, is mental health is real. And so I don't take it very lightly. But I am a little sick of this mental health argument for these crazy mass shootings and shooters that keep going on, especially when I hear politicians talking about investing in mental health at the same time while they're taking away funding from mental health and divesting in mental health funding. Lying to cut resources. But you know what I decided to do? I said, well, let me do my own research, right? Let me dig in on my own whether or not that this mental health excuse is legit, because I thought to myself, I said, well, hell, America can't be the only country with mental health issues, right? Like, mental health is got to be high, and it's got to be everywhere, right? Like, this can't be the only place that deals with mental health. I said, but maybe America is the only country that deals with mental health because the way we're reacting to it, we shooting up places. So I said, well, let me do some research. I simply asked the Googles. I asked Google, I said, what countries have the highest rate of suicide and mental health issues? I went deep with suicide. The response was the countries of Iran, Portugal, Greece, and Spain all have higher mental health issue rates, suicidal rates. But the one thing that they all had in common as well is despite the fact that they have higher suicide rates, despite the fact that they still suffer from mental health issues, they had virtually no mass shootings. You can't find data. Look it up. Look up the data of mass shootings in Iran. Look up the data of mass shootings in Portugal, Greece, and Spain. They are virtually non-existent. It is hard to find data. Why? Because it does not happen in these other countries. So how the hell do we here in America utilize the excuse of mental health for why these folks go and shoot up these different places, but then in other countries where they have mental health issues, higher suicidal rates, don't have the same mass shootings? They either don't have them or they're relatively low. So we got to stop with this nonsense. We got to stop with this mindset of, it's mental health. Yeah, mental health plays a role, but it's bigger than that. And that is just facts. We got to get down to the point of the fact that these other countries also have mental health issues, but they don't have the same rate of mass shootings that we have. 833-212-1017, Pat in Milwaukee. What are your thoughts and comments on this?
Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Pat.
Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to say that I agree with you that the Trump administration taking that $1 billion from the mental health schools for mental health for schools is ridiculous, because we definitely need that. But I also was going to say that the last 2 shooters we had were transgender. One was a transgender woman that wanted to be a man, and transgender man that now wanted to be a woman. And they were pretty young. He was 23, she was 15. And I just want to say that the administration before was telling our children that it was okay to change gender, to say all this. I think that's what mixed them up in the first place.
Can I ask you a question, Pat? Because you're right. That's factual. The last shooter for sure was a transgender woman who was a man, born man. But are there more transgender shooters than there are cisgender as people who aren't transgender shooters out there?
Pardon me?
Are there more? I said you're absolutely right, but are there more transgender shooters than there are non-transgender shooters out there?
Yes, and I know you were also saying though, you were saying other countries are not like America. You know, America promotes some of the most heinous activities. You know.
Yep, pull up. I think we lost Pat there. That is okay. And 833-212-1017. We'll quickly go to Al in Sherman Park. Thank you so much for the call, Pat. I appreciate you chiming in and sharing some facts on some things, but also your opinion as well. But Al from Sherman Park, what are your thoughts on your conversation? It looks like you wanted to give an update on COVID shots.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle. I just want to give you an update on the COVID. Every year we go from a transition from the previous year's COVID shot to the new updated shot. And since I do a lot of scheduling of flu and vaccines, the COVID shot right now is on pause until the new updated one comes in for this season. So
Thank you, Al.
It's not gotten rid of. Okay. And then with this uptick in the I think the uptick in the transgender shootings are that they are unable to deal with reality that everybody is not going to pretend that you can transition. And I think they're very angry about it, and it's particularly when they attack the churches because they see the church as their enemy and not going along.
I guess my issue with this is it's factual with the worst transgender shooters, but there's more transgender people being killed for their identity than there are mass shooters. And so that's where I don't want to paint this narrative of, oh, it's the fact that these kids are confused. What about all the other folks who are out there killing people who are men who like women, or women who like men who go out there, mostly white men, who are shooting? Instead of focusing on the trans part, which, okay, fine, do whatever research y'all want. We should focus on the white male part. They the problem. But I don't want to turn this into an they were transgender. No. You're getting away from the point. Because in the last two shootings that they were trans, guess what they had in common, Rhea? They might both have been trans, but guess what else they were?
White.
833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'll share my final thoughts and wrap up the show on the other side. Keep it locked, Truth Nation. We'll be back.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
We address people, young boys, as if they're grown when they're not. For me, they're not young men, they're young boys. And I think if we can keep them in that space, I can do a lot more with someone in middle school when I treat them as the boy that they are versus trying to make them men when they're not, and they probably have very few examples of that.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
This is 101.7 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk. Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
routine.
And clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
One, two, three, ho!
Crew, your dream game day starts at Parking Lot Patio, located near the Clock Tower entrance outside of American Family Field. Parking Lot Patio is your go-to pregame hangout. Play yard games and grab free giveaways. It's free, fun, and open to all fans of all ages. Stop by during the next home game for the Brewers. Parking Lot Patio is presented by American Family Insurance. Visit amfam.com today to find an insurance agent near you, or simply go to amfam.com to get a quote instantly. American Family Insurance. Now, Truth Nation, I don't like the conversation shifting to talking about trans folks, only because I think we're pointing the finger at transgender folks as an excuse when the finger really needs to be pointed at white people, and especially white males. It was factual. They were definitely trans. And is there an uptick? Y'all probably, statistically, there may be an uptick, but it ain't significant. There are more straight individuals who are shooting up schools and shooting up places than there are trans folks. So to sit here and say trans folks are the problem is an issue to me, because it ain't getting to the root cause. It's just cherry picking that. Now, if you said it was white folks, then I get it. Yeah, that's factual. But shout out to y'all, as always, for chiming in on the conversation. But again, my biggest point today is the fact that we got to stop blaming mental health for these issues, and we got to stop letting these issues die down. And like I said before, the Uvalde shooting saw 19 children killed. 19 children killed. And we don't talk about that no more. The shooting last week at the Catholic school in Minnesota saw 2 children killed and 14 shot. And that conversation has already died down. But what we have to realize is that if we do nothing about it, it will continue to happen. And regardless of what your political view is, this isn't politics. This is life or death. This is life or death. And so we need to hold these politicians accountable, especially when you have politicians talking about taking away talking about we need more funding for mental health while they're taking away funding. And like on the talking text line, Thomas Sana, don't know if I said that right, said lots of funding has been taken away from mental health organizations and also suicide prevention line. Yeah, that's a real resource that we need. And so when we talk about $1 billion being taken away from schools across this country to help combat mental health crises in this country, but then when a shooting happens, we talk about, oh, well, it's mental health. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't talk about there being a mental health crisis while taking money away from areas that need mental health resources. But I always appreciate y'all tuning in. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. We will be back tomorrow on Truth to Power. Peace out. Y'all have a great one.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'll put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
Because I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh, my God.